Hello, and thank you for joining our presentation. We are Group One. The team members are Jimmy, myself, Andrew, Tori, Frida, Grace, Jason, and Ava. Just a brief background. Mark Yang is soon graduating with an MBA from Harvard Business School. He applied for a summer internship with a technology security firm and was offered a position at one of the company's offices. Before he starts his internship, he faces a problem that he must resolve. Mark's problem is the dilemma of acting uh, unethically or risking negative consequences for taking a stand. His role requires him to conduct market research by contacting other technology security firms, including direct competitors for sensitive business information. In a conversation with the head of the office, it is suggested that Mark misrepresent himself as a Harvard Business School student rather than disclosing his affiliation with the firm. He soon learns that the suggestion is rather the expectation for his role. To Mark, misrepresenting himself is unethical. Furthermore, doing so poses a reputational risk to himself and Harvard Business School if he is discovered. The internship, however, is important to him and his future opportunities, and taking a stand risks the loss of the internship. He solicits advice from others with mixed reactions. Our presentation will further discuss Mark's dilemma and the solutions that he has to navigate the problem.
Great, thanks, Andrew. So now we're going to highlight on the ethical dilemma. So Mark is facing an ethical dilemma by being asked to lie to a competitor firm to obtain sensitive information, which conflict with his ethical values. Mark realizes this represent more than just a passing comment from the VP, but this was more of a planned approach. Mark has tried to avoid this request multiple times, but he's struggling on how to respond to this without jeopardizing his career and internship. There are possible outcomes of his decision to refuse the request that Mark faced in this dilemma. The positive impact is he can walk away from the situation with a clear conscience if he aligns his action to his ethical values. Second, the simple answer is if the head of the Asia office accepts Mark's concern, he can continue his internship as nothing has happened. The negative impact is there can be some confrontation, creating tension and awkwardness in the workplace. There's opportunity that they cancel his internship, he loses the opportunity for career development, or lastly, it could jeopardize his future career aspect. These are all possible impacts that should be considered.
Thanks, Jimmy. The first stakeholder affected by this dilemma is Mark himself. The problem he faces challenges his ethics, character, and potential future employment. Next, the tech security firm he works for is a stakeholder as well. This includes individuals such as the CEO and the manager of the Asian branch. The request to have Mark mask his affiliation could damage the company's reputation if caught. Additionally, Mark's decision to follow through or not will directly influence the data being collected for the firm. Furthermore, the competitors in the industry are also stakeholders, as they can be manipulated into sharing business information with a direct competitor. Another stakeholder in this dilemma is Harvard Business School and Professor Jones. The reputation of the school could be diminished if they are dragged into an international scandal. As for Professor Jones, his credibility as a professor of leadership and corporate accountability could be tarnished if a student of his partakes in such unethical behavior. The final stakeholders in this case are Mark's friends and family, who could be looked down upon if he goes through with this project due to their influence on him. Mark's future with the company also influences their day-to-day lives in terms of Mark's employment and whether he relocates to Asia or not. We'll now take a look at some possible solutions to this case.
For the first possible solution, Mark should contact the CEO. In Mark's and the CEO's prior call, he determined that the CEO held particular values for the firm, which included honest behavior. He wanted the company's values to span across all offices. Because of this commitment to values and the CEO's desire to have the entire company reflect these values, Mark should ask for a meeting with the CEO to discuss confidential information. Building on the previous discussion, Mark should begin by asking to remain anonymous, to which the CEO would probably agree, and Mark should disclose the request to misrepresent himself as a Harvard Business School student in order to garner more information from competitors. In a conversation similar to the one he has with Professor Jones, Mark should reveal what he knows as well as explicate his commitment to ethics and ethical behavior and his desire to see the firm succeed. With this information, the CEO can then identify and remove potential bad actors, as well as prioritize training the entire team to behave ethically. The downside of this, of course, is that people could pinpoint Mark as the whistleblower.
Possible solution number 2 includes refuse to participate in the project and ask to work on a different project. The pros of this is by simply refusing to work on a project where Mark is asked to misrepresent himself, he will be able to protect himself from legal and reputational risks. It will also enable him to protect his own ethical values. The cons to it, however, is potential negative consequences of refusal. Exercising option 2 to refuse working on the project could not only put Mark's current employment with Asia at risk, but also impact his future work opportunities. This would also hinder Mark's goal of having a personal and professional impact that can be caused by 2 things. 1, after the refusal of the current project, a negative implication may be is that he is handed a watered down or a project that has no prospect, or 2, his termination from the company altogether that can not only put him out of a prestigious summer job, but can also reflect negatively on his resume.
As another option, Mark could ask for another project while delaying the current project. The upside to this is that Mark would be able to sleep better at night because he would avoid compromising his ethical and moral values, as well as mitigate potential reputational risk. The potential downsides are that he could also miss out on important opportunities for career development. He could create tension with his supervisors or his teammates that may have to complete the work in his place. Or he may even get dismissed from the company if his supervisors don't have other tasks to assign to him.
One final option Mark might pursue is agree to his company's requests and misrepresent himself while covertly collecting facts and documenting conversations for ultimate delivery to a regulatory authority, such as an internal compliance committee or the Securities and Exchange Commission. This might sound unconventional or even radical, but consider this. Multiple people in the company urged Mark to engage in unethical behavior before he even started. Imagine what they might ask after onboarding. Their cavalier approach is indicative of a systemic dishonesty. Sure, he could pass on the project or even the job, but this won't stop the behavior. The team will just push the work to someone else. Mark has a unique opportunity to bring moral guidance to an otherwise ethically challenged organization, effecting real change at an early stage in his career. On the flip side, if he's found out, he could be ostracized in the professional community, destroying his career before it's even started. So now that you've heard all the options, what do you think Mark should do? What would you do in this situation? On behalf of Team One, thank you for your time.